Time, weather, and
Always.
case of various.
Shipwreck with a batch to buy and a hook and a stick leg. He's traveled seas and he's docked and he's seasick. Sails all torn, the galley's worn, and the crew's all left the ship. Standing on a wet floor ready to slip. Missed the prime, this apple is ripened. The juices have all dried out or been siphoned. There's nothing but rot left in the horizon. Crop was thick, you should have picked with your heart, not your hips. Standing on a wet floor ready to slip. And your shoe pull won't function. You try to breathe air, but your nose just gets punched in. As you stare back at the plane, it gets shrunken. Strange mistake or twist of fate that you could not predict. Standing on a wet floor, ready to slip. Your misery calls and he's got the right number. A key to your door and ways into your slumber. There are no sheets deep enough to crawl under. You try and wait and stay awake, but can you hear the clock hand tick? Standing on a wet floor ready to slip. You stay awake and try and wait, but can you hear the clock hand tick? Standing on a wet floor ready to slip.
Welcome to Caught in the Act. We are here, it's a project of CFUZ 92.9 FM based right here in Penticton, British Columbia. We're here tonight with Vincent DeCowans, who has just opened us. And Vincent, thanks so much for that. We're glad to be here tonight. We're glad to have you with us tonight to give us some of your music that you have created and are sharing with us now. This project is made possible by the funding from the Community Radio Fund of Canada and by the hard work of the project committee of coordinators and volunteers. My name is Michael. I'm your host for tonight, and I'm here with the CFUZ crew tonight and tonight's volunteers, Danny, our audio producer, and Dave, our video producer. And as I said, tonight's featured artist is Vincent DeCowans. He's from just down the road from us in Penticton here. He's from Coston, BC. Vincent, welcome. Thanks for being here. You've started us off already, and we're excited to hear more. And just before we ask you to play a little bit more in terms of your music, we want to also acknowledge that as a member of the Peach City Community Radio Society, CFUZ 92.9 FM, and the Caught in the Act team, I'd like to acknowledge that we do work and play on the unceded territories of the Okanagan peoples. It's a privilege to be here tonight. It's a privilege to have you with us, Vincent, and we'd love to hear more of your music tonight.
Thank you, Michael. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, guys, the whole crew, everybody. So it's an honor to be playing here for you guys and to be on Peach City Radio. Got some good friends at work alongside with you guys, and I'm very happy to be here. This next song was inspired by Murray McLaughlin, the Canadian songwriter, who had a farmer song in which he said, "There's not enough farmer songs on the radio." Walked in at day's end to our little shack we had, hungry as a wolf, both eyes sitting on their back. My darling, loving wife, she was sitting by the sink, holding in her hands a letter from the banks. She read it to me twice. Blood ran cold as ice. It's time to pack our bags, roll up our rugs and leave. The house we called our home belongs to tailor-suited thieves. Money from last year, it went to insure the next. Ain't no profits here, up to our necks in debts. And workers need their pay, and bankers offer loans. I end up with a bill that outweighs everything I've thrown. They charge my wife the rope if I decide to grow. I just can't stay on top, I'm underpaid for crops from the same goddamn superstores where I go shop. So this year we pray for hail to come and pay the bail, save us from another year of trying. If given one more fail, I'd put it up for sale. What's the use if no one's there for buying? Wrote this next song in Nova Scotia, where they've got two bridges in Nova Scotia, beautiful bridges. This one's called the Mcdonald Bridge Blues. I'd like to say hi to Heather in Nova Scotia. I can't seem to find out what's the deal. I can't find the words to say how I feel. I thought maybe these tears would kinda make it clear. I see the Mcdonald Bridge drop me off here. You pulled out sinking under the weight of sorrows that always grow. How could such a gem be such fool's gold? How could the month of June seem so cold? 2 pennies for my eyes, I'll need them to pay the toll. I see the Mcdonald bridge, take me there, let's roll. This next song is a song I wrote a little while back, and I haven't played live much, but I played it one time, and then great friends of mine, the Wildfire Gypsies, who are wonderful musicians, said, hey, what's that song? We want to play that song, and have since covered it and put it on their album, so I'm very honored, and they convinced me that it's probably worth playing a whole bunch. It's called Little Annie. Dreaming a nightmare she's caught in, there's no way out. Running in circles in a corn maze with impossible doubts. Never sure whether she's in or out of her mind. Memories stored keep her spinning, looking behind. What she'll find's not there. What she'll find's not there. It's hot air. Round up and down, little Annie, up, down, and around she goes. Round up and down, little Annie, up, down, and around. Is she laughing or crying in the corner? It depends on which eye. She's off to all the ones who tried to warn her, though they tried and they tried. Conscience sore, weapons drawn, ready for war. Terrified poor, throwing bombs and blown open doors. What she'll find not there. What she'll find's hot air. Round up and down, little Annie, up, down, and around she goes. Round up and down, little Annie, up, down, and around. This next song, it's called Good Things Gone. It's probably one of the first songs I ever wrote. Not true, not true. Amongst in the early days. And I've reworked it and reworked it and reworked it, and I quite like it the way it is now. It's a traveling song. Country song. place just right, filled with people I love, where I and myself, we fitting just like a glove. A comfortable spot where I can feel safe and warm, all make me wanna mosey on along. There's something so right, so hard to hold on long, I fear to lose it and run away. I like my good things gone, where I can reminisce on the Minnesota. Well, I've been in the east and I've been far out in the west. I've shared some memories I still keep in my treasure chest. Those people I met are friends forever to me, but they're not folks I continue to see. Something so right, so hard to hold on long, I fear to lose it and run away. I like my good things gone, where I can reminisce on the Minnesota. Goodbye, time to go, another rolling stone. Goodbye, time to go, another. Hitting and tap for a dot on the map. I've sold all my things, I probably won't be back. There's a place in my heart that I still haven't found, where someday I will finally settle down. There's something so right, so hard to hold on long, I fear to lose it and run away. I like my good things gone, where I can reminisce on the Minnesota. Goodbye, time to go, tomorrow I'll be gone. Goodbye, time to go, another rolling stone.
Vincent, thank you so much. I just was caught there for a moment, just that last chord. It was an amazing final chord of that last song. Just had to say that as we come back and chat for a little bit. Thanks for sharing your music with us. Thanks for being here. You have such a really cool style. I was listening, and in fact, viewers might have seen this. I lost count of the number of songs that you were singing because I was just listening. I was caught up in it, and I'm sorry about that. I left you hanging there at the end of that last song, but your style is just so very cool, and so thank you for sharing your style with us tonight.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
We got a little bit of information from you before the show tonight, and you told us a little bit about some of your influences, and I think some of those might be a little bit more obvious to those that might be familiar with them, and names like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and kind of that storytelling folk kind of sound. Tell me a little bit about how that grabbed you as you were, whether it was growing up or as you were developing in your musicianship, and what about that folk kind of style grabbed you?
I love it. I just love it. I always say this story. My mother would drive us around everywhere we needed to go, and she had a big Jeep Cherokee, and she had 3 cassettes in it, and was Bread, Greatest Hits, and James Taylor, Greatest Hits, and Simon and Garfunkel, Greatest Hits. And it was all this beautiful, romantic and beautifully sung stuff, and I loved it, and it taught me a lot. And then when I heard guys like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, then they broke the mold and really surprised me with what they did. So I try to kind of blend the melodic and the beautiful, but I try to surprise the best of my ability.
Yeah, and I have to say, you did that for me. There were a few chords, especially in that last song. I was expecting one chord, particularly a major one. I just heard it go minor, and I went, "Oh, there, right there. That's an example of what you're talking about. Some surprising things. Everybody maybe has a picture in their mind about what a country song should sound like, and then all of a sudden it's just a little bit different. That's really cool. The other thing that you shared with us, though, that I thought was really fascinating was that you're also influenced by hip hop and rap. So tell me and tell our viewers a little bit more about that. How do those two things come together for you?
Well, that's something I find very interesting because it really shaped me because I was born in '85, so I was in high school in the late '90s, and I guess all this really cool music was just coming out, and it was I guess they call it the golden age of hip hop. And it's funny because now I play the guitar and I play country songs and stuff, but at the time you had to kind of choose a camp. And I was listening to hip hop, and I'd see these kids with like Pink Floyd T-shirts and Led Zeppelin T-shirts. I had no idea who they were, and all I knew is we listened to hip hop, and they listened to we call them the punk kids, I guess, and they'd call us the rap dudes. But I got really into hip hop, and some stuff was junk, and some stuff was really great, and the great stuff was the styles and the lyrics and the rhymes, the rhyme schemes, the cadences that they used. And then so in high school, I was awful in school, but somehow I found myself writing, filling books of rhymes and writing. So I think that really shaped my writing style, which is I'm pretty grateful for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's storytelling across musical genres, right? I mean, we often think about country music as storytelling, but certainly hip hop and rap is absolutely is storytelling as well. And you're bringing those two things together. It's a really interesting fusion when you see that when you see somebody talking about, as influenced by Neil Young and by early 80s East Coast hip hop. If you put those two things together, it's a great thing. And I think for me, even as I'm listening, I'm hearing you tell those stories. I'm picturing what Little Annie is doing as you're singing that song, and so it's just a really interesting fusion of styles in your own background that's coming through in your music right now. So thank you. Thanks for sharing that with us. And I don't want to keep you. I mean, we could be here for a while talking about all of these things, but I don't want to keep you. I would love for our viewers to be able to hear and see more from you. So would love to have you share your next set of songs with us.
Sure. This next set of songs is from an album that is recorded, and we home recorded it with a friend of mine called Alex Black, and he recorded everything. I was sitting on a couch, he recorded everything live, vocals and guitar, and then he added all the instrumentation, and it was a bit of an album, very much an album, that is called The Wild Goose Chase, and my idea was to try to move away from songs centering on my emotions and my heartbreaks and this and that, and to try to paint a picture and to tell a story. So that was a big turning point in my songwriting. And I pictured a movie, and then I tried to make the soundtrack for it. It's on Bandcamp. You can check it out. It's by a band that used to be called the Coolies, that are now called the Cooligans. And but it's under the Coolies at bandcamp.com. And this is my biggest hit. Sleep in your barn tonight. I'll be gone before the sun shines its first ray of light. Milk the cow, feed the cat, lock the gate and be out of sight. If you'll only let me stay barn tonight. Many days, as many nights out on the road. Many towns out of bounds, many doors shut, closed. Never found just a place to settle down and change my clothes. Feeling lonesome in the sight of another night out in the cold. Can I sleep in your barn tonight? I'll be gone before the sun shines its first ray of light. Feed the cat, milk the cow, lock the gate and be out of sight. If you're lonely, let me sleep in your barn tonight. It's been dark, it's been cold, and it's been wet. In the fields or the ditches, by the highways where I slept, where roaring wheels over bridges and the rats chew on your quilt. Days where I thought I was done for, or so I felt. Can I sleep in your barn tonight? I'll be gone before the sun shines its first ray of light. Milk the cow, feed the cat, lock the gate and be out of sight. If you're lonely, let me sleep in your barn. So it's a bit of a Western, this soundtrack. It's very much a Western. I called it a futuristic Western. It's had themes that kind of jumped in, a few unexpected themes. And this next song is about when there's this small town and this villain comes in and he starts stirring up trouble. And there's this family just trying to make it, and they've got this child named Annie. Again, Annie. I think I got influenced by the play. And they're thinking it's not safe for her anymore, so they might send her to, an aunt or an uncle in another town. And they have to break the news to her. Get your suitcase, Annie. I think it's time for you to go. Say farewell to your friends and hope and pray you may meet again some brighter day. In hopes of better and of best, somewhere quiet, somewhere to rest, away from threats, well in the keep of safety's vest. Now love, don't worry or fret, the world's your oyster and you're its net. So go forth brave with looking back, but never forget. Get your suitcase, Annie. I think it's time for you to go. Say farewell to your friends and hope and pray you may meet again some brighter day. Do, 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 just send us letters when you can. Let us know where's in the winds. If we don't write, trust that we're fine, just busy again. That's called Little Annie. My friend started singing that too, which is a great honor, but he sings it better than I do. It just hurt my feelings. Yeah, from that same album, The Coolies on Bandcamp. If we got time, I got one more that I could play from that album. Pierre Davidson, my good friend from Peach City Radio, he said it was a hit. And I trust his musical taste very much. Sometimes I got so many harmonicas, you got to keep up with, change it for every song. Get confused sometimes. This song's called Stainless Still. I thought up the idea when I was about 18 years old, and I figured if you study enough, you'll have everything figured out by the time you're 21, and you'll never make mistakes again. Wrong. Normal man, just what is fact or myth? To sort out truth from false today, too few possess a sift. I pray to heaven daily to send our town the one, the long-awaited promised son with a good heart and a gun. I've always found admirable, I guess I always will, one who never slips, stainless still. Here there's not a clean slate, a townshipper could boast. Our names have all been muddied up, our closets all have ghosts. The pastor and the mayor are no different than the rest, losing faith and going against what we all know is best. It's vacant on the pedestal, it's mighty shoes to fill, for one who never slips, stainless still, stainless still. Is there such a man who stands as high as the legend does? I look at all the folks I know and they wouldn't last 2 seconds. Us, the strangers that I've come across who seem so prodigal, it's hard to say from far away if they did fit that bill. I've lost track. Is that 3 or is that 4? I got one more from that album, The Wild Goose Chase. That you can check out on Bandcamp. I can't say that enough, can I? I was hesitating between playing 2 songs, one called The Duel and one called Grand Forks Pass. And I think Grand Forks Pass holds a sweet spot in my heart for me. So I'll go ahead and play that. It's a fictional place about a guy who's somewhere in the desert, and he's at the Grand Forks Pass. And he's just with his horse, and that's his best friend. And he's thankful he's got such a great best friend. At least I got you, jolly luck, my dear. There's no better pal one could wish to have. Good thing it's so, 'cause we're stuck out here. Stuck here in the Grand Fork Pass. The Grand Fork Pass. Where since I got here, I lost nearly all my faith in what's in store for me. The Grand Fork Pass charges its toll. Got me empty-handed, grieving my soul. At least I got you, jolly luck, my dear. There's no better pal one could wish to have. Good thing it's so, 'cause we're stuck out here. Stuck here on the Grand Fork Pass. The Grand Fork Pass. I only thought I'd stop a while, get some rest and get my horse some feed. The Grand Fork Pass never lets go. It ropes your neck and ties a tag to your toe. I got you, jolly luck, my dear. There's no better pal one could wish to have. Good thing it's so, 'cause we're stuck out here. Stuck here on the Grand Fork Pass. The Grand Fork Pass. Been wandering days in a haze without a place to feed my starving heart. The Grand Fork Pass shrivels you dry to bones to fry under the merciless sky.
Such an intriguing concept, and I want to come back to the whole idea of the Wild Goose Chase and in that in just a minute. But you made reference a couple of songs ago to changing your harmonicas between each song. And I wonder, just for those who may not be as familiar with how that instrument is used and played, why do you need to change that in between songs?
So there's chromatic harmonicas which have every note built in them, and there's diatonic harmonicas, which is what I use and a lot of folk singers use, and they have a key built into them. So if I'm playing in G, then I can play a G diatonic harmonica, and I'll have the key of G built in. Yeah. So it's just necessary because you're playing in different keys for different songs, so you need to match the harmonica to the key of the song. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
And I think it's the typical folk harmonica, whereas you could also listen to some Stevie Wonder where he plays his magic on his harmonica, and he's playing a chromatic harmonica, which sounds more like an accordion almost.
Okay. And the chromatic meaning that basically that one harmonica could be played in any key.
Sorry, what was that?
The word chromatic meaning that it's based on the chromatic scale, so you can use that one harmonica and it doesn't really matter what key you're playing it in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like picking up the guitar.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. I want to come back to this as you introduced it to us before this set, the Wild Goose Chase soundtrack. And you told us a little bit about it, but I'm so intrigued by this concept that there's a soundtrack to a fictional movie. How did you come up with that idea?
I'm trying to remember. I know that it might be a few different things. I said Neil Young was a big influence, and he had this album that CBC voted like the #1 album many times. #1 Canadian album, which was after the Gold Rush, which the legend says was an album made for it was a soundtrack made for a movie that never ended up being produced, and so that kind of set into my head. And then spaghetti western stuff really got me for a while, and I got into those scenes, and I got obsessed with spaghetti western movies, and just loved that sound. So I wanted to see if I could tell a story and kind of have that landscape in the back.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I'm not sure that that the first word that might come to mind when somebody thinks of acoustic guitar, harmonica, and voice to describe that as cinematic. But you pulled it off. There are a couple of times there where it all of a sudden just changes mood, and there were a couple of chord progressions that you threw in, and you can just kind of picture a scene changing at that point, and then coming back to the storytelling. Is that a fairly consistent theme throughout this soundtrack? Because I noticed that happened on a couple of your songs there.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of characters. I think it's a collection of 16 songs on the album, and a lot of characters come in and out. There's a hero, the hero's theme. There's a villain's theme. There's Sheriff Bob, who is thought to be the hero at some point, and then gets gunned down in the street, kind of showdown at 12 noon, kind of classic style. And the underlying theme is that we're all looking for a hero, and we're looking for this messiah, whether it be a religious icon or just a hero to come to town and save the day. And I won't tell you how it finishes, but
yeah, you don't want to spoil anything for
no.
us. No, that's fantastic. I just love the idea, and you made reference to it, but we're going to talk about it because we want people to discover your music more, and you've given us just a few scenes of that soundtrack here. But yeah, we do want to encourage people to go to the coolies.bandcamp.com. Do I have that right?
That's right. And the Coolies, I always like to explain, because people, they go, why do you call yourself the Coolies? And at the time, it's because a friend visited, and she said, you guys are so cool, and we definitely agreed
to become the Cooligans. Is
the
what
Cooligans,
you said before.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So
the Coolies, it was already taken by a few other bands.
Okay, but you have the Bandcamp, so we'll point people there if you want to listen to that whole soundtrack and just get a sense of the story. And I don't know, this might be speaking out of line here, but if you want to get in touch with Vincent and become a part screenwriter of this storyboarded movie, get in touch. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you a little
yes.
bit more.
Absolutely.
That
yes,
is
please.
just awesome.
Yeah, we're
That's
still
just
looking
awesome.
for funding. We're almost there.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
I just love the concept. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We're getting somewhat close to the end of our time together here today, but I think we got time for probably 3 more songs. If you want to share some more with us, we'd love to hear more from you.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, the whole team, everybody. There's a lot of people behind the scenes working tonight, and thank you so much for having me. Got this song I was hoping I could play. It's I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you're kind of hanging out with friends, and you drink some beers, and then you drink some wine, and then you maybe have a little something called like an Irish car bomb, and then you maybe have a little bit of tequila, and then you maybe have a little whiskey at the end. And then the next morning, you feel kind of like this. Don't don't sing songs about whiskey. My poor brain cannot take it. Spent last night with Potter's Gold, and now I wonder if I'll make it. Mix my whiskey with juice, then I drink the poison till I tell the truth. Ask the devil what's your drink, and he'll answer special golden. Alright, sweet and soft, you knock me down and I wake up lost. Alright, knock my socks off. One good day in 3 to 4 days. One good day in 3 to 4 days. One good day in 3 to 4 days lost. That's a too high cost. I drink the beer and I drink the wine, and I'm a swimmer in the liquor lakes. But whiskey's a river much too deep, thin ice that always breaks. The most revered, most loved and feared, most toasted by the broken. Ask the devil what's your drink, he'll answer special golden. Alright, sweet and soft, you knock me down and now you wake up lost. Alright, knock my socks off. One good night in 3 to 4 days. One good night in 3 to 4 days. One good night in 3 to 4 days lost. That's a too high cost. I have to thank my friend Bradley James for providing all that alcohol that night and waking me up really early and inspiring this song. Thank you, Brad. I got some songs on my mind, and I'm thinking, did you say 2 more? Does that work for you? Okay. I'll throw in... got one more song from that Wild Goose Chase album that you can check out on Bandcamp. Soon to be printed on vinyl. Vinyl. I'm gonna try a song I've never played before in front of anyone. And so if it's gone pretty well so far, this could be it here, the breaking point. No, this is called forget what this is called. Buddy, where'd your heart go? You stopped your visits to the meadow. Don't let those pressures overflow. Don't wait till the kettle whistle blows. We all get tired of believing when there's so much sharing and no receiving. Don't stop, all your efforts help you grow. Go and get where it is you gotta go. Oh, baby, I get a feeling these days you feel out of place. If you feel give you space. Well, think back, buddy, all the good times. There's lots more coming down the line. Focus on the good that's left ahead. Those thoughts you're having soon will shed. The winter's heavy near the ending, but spring is nearing, the road is bending. The old wheel's just taking you out for a spin. Somewhere you've likely already been. Feeling these days you felt out of place. If you feel injured and need healing, you know I can hold on or give you space. I'd like to say thank you guys for listening, everybody tuning in. Thanks once more to the crew. Thanks for having me. And go check out. They got 8 more of these so far, and there's lots more coming. I'd like to say hello to my band, the house band, Jeff and Wild Bill, my wife Erika, and all my dear friends. And I'll end it on this song from the soundtrack to the non-existing movie, The Wild Goose Chase. The stories wrote, the pictures drawn, good old days are gone. It's up the steps and down the hatch. The night has seen its dawn. New day rises, old one dies. The torch is passed along. The stories wrote, curtains drawn, the good old days are gone. Stories wrote, the pictures drawn, the good old days are gone. It's up the steps and down the hatch. The night has seen its dawn. New day rises, old one dies. The torch is passed along. Stories wrote, curtains drawn, the good old days are gone.
Vincent, thanks so much. Thanks for sharing your music with us tonight. And hey, I have to say, thanks for having the courage to share with us something that is unfinished, and multiple things actually that are unfinished. A song with apparently no name. Thanks for sharing that with us. An unfinished movie project, and yet the music from that is so captivating. So thanks for sharing your music, and thanks for being willing to show us that we can step out and share something even if it's maybe not perfectly finished yet. That's a great thing. You've given us hope at the end of our session here. That's great.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks,
thank you,
Vincent.
guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. Just on behalf of all of the CFUZ crew here tonight, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Vincent, of course, for sharing with us his music tonight. Thank you to Danny, our audio producer tonight, to Dave, our video producer, to Melissa, our music coordinator, and the whole crew at CFUZ. We want to say also thank you to the Community Radio Fund of Canada for funding this project and making it possible for us to learn and to be entertained and also to think and have some hope because of the music that's getting shared with us here locally. We've got such a lot of great talent around us, and it's wonderful to be able to share that. And as Vincent said, this is our eighth program, our eighth show of this project. We've got 12 more after this to round out this project. So we're coming up on halfway here done, and our next performance is right back here tomorrow night, 7:30. Stephanie, you may know her from our local band here, Yarrows. She is going to be playing tomorrow night, and so we want to invite everybody to join us once again and enjoy some more great local music. Vincent, thanks so much for sharing with us tonight once again, and for everybody, have a great night. And we thank you for being with us for Caught in the Act once again.
Thank you.